Friends, come join me on Tampa Bay while I check out my brand new case fishing knife. Check this out. It has a fish hook sharpener right there on the yellow synthetic handle. And it's a two-bladed knife. And the first blade is a 3-inch fillet knife, come razor sharp right from the factory. The second blade, well, it is a descaler with a bottle opener and a little dehooker at the tip. Pretty cool, huh? And there's airplanes flying all over the place today, so we'll just have to have a little background noise. But we're going to check this knife out and do a little fishing. So we're going to head up into the mouth of the Little Manatee River on the south side of Tampa Bay here. And we're going to pass, well, they call this Bird Crap Island, and makes you wonder why they call it that, huh? And there's a lot of debris floating around out here in the river from Milton still. This poor guy, well, he sunk his. And this guy got blown up into the mangroves. Check that out. So we're going to pass all that and go up into my little honey hole here and see if we can put some sheephead on the boat. So the first thing you need when sheephead fishing is a good sharp hook. And you know what? This works pretty good. Easy to use. Nice and sharp. Okay, good job. So tie that hook on there onto my monofilament leader material, fluorocarbon I mean. And we're going to toss that out there with a live shrimp. And the first one, there he goes. Let's bring it in, see what we got. Well, we got a sheephead, but he's a little guy. Way too small. And they got to be 12 inches here. His teeth aren't even all that big yet. Little guy, we're going to let you go back and grow up and get bigger. So see you later. Alright, so let's put another one on and toss it up behind the boat here. And there she goes. Alright, let's see what we got here. And I'll tell you, these sheephead, man, they are ornery little guys. They fight hard for their size. And speaking of size, this one is too small also, so he's got to go back. But we kept going until we finally got one that was legal. Couple inches bigger than legal. Usually don't keep them this size, but you know what? He chomped down on my finger with those teeth, so I'm going to chomp down on him in the frying pan tonight. Alright, so didn't check out the dehooker on these guys because they're teeth, but I did get this little mangrove snapper. So let's try out the dehooker. And you know what? It works. You know, if you wrestle around with it, but I think a pair of pliers would have been easier, especially on these little snapper guys, huh? But you're way too small also, so there you go. Go grow up. Well, as the day warmed up, unfortunately, we started catching some of Tampa Bay's famous saltwater catfish. So, since he swallowed the hook, I am going to just go ahead and let him keep it. And cut that off nice and clean there, and there you go. The case fishing knife, doing great so far, but we got a fish to clean. So let's go back to the house and see how this one does cleaning a sheephead. Alrighty. So I got me a cutting board, and I got the case fishing knife, and I also have my other favorite fillet knife, the Spyderco Catcherman. So the Catcherman would be easier because of its size to clean this sheephead, but since we're doing the review, I am going to try to clean it with the case fishing knife 3-inch fillet blade. Now it's razor sharp, so there's no question there. Let's get our sheephead, who's been in the cooler for several hours now, and he is not alive, just to make sure everybody understands that, because he is half frozen. So we'll just go ahead and fillet this sheephead. Now, I know y'all don't want to sit here for the next 10 minutes watching me fillet it, So I am going to go ahead and speed this up to 2 times the speed. So usually I start at that dorsal fin, and there's a little flap right there. And I try to get between the flap and the spine and just work my way down that backbone along that dorsal fin and just separate that meat. A lot of times it's easier to stand it up like this so I can see what I'm doing. Get my thumb in there good and just take that fillet and pull it away and cut all the way to the rib cage there and get that meat separated. Now I don't take that fillet all the way off because it's hard to get the second fillet, I find. So I like to go ahead and get my second fillet started while I still have that first fillet on the other side. It just makes it easier in my opinion. So I just do the same thing on this side. Go down that dorsal fin. There's a, like I said, there's a little space there, just a little flap, and you just go right along there, and you're not cutting through all those scales as much. Just separate that meat from the bones all the way down to the rib cage there. And then on this particular one, I decided to cut through the rib cage. Sometimes I cut around it, but that's what I did on this one. So we'll go ahead and cut that fillet off of that side now, and flip it over and finish cutting the first fillet off. So now all we got to do is cut through that rib cage and trim that baby right on off of there. This one's being a little bit of a pain in the butt, but we will get it. Alright, get that out of the way. Now I got to take the meat off of the skin, and let me tell you, that Spyderco Catcherman would have been a lot easier with its longer blade, but I wanted to clean it with this knife, so I struggled a little bit, but it did it. If this is the only knife you have, it will work. I don't think I'd do a 30-pound gag grouper with it, but this little sheephead, it'll do the trick. You know, it's only a 3-inch blade. So now we want to cut the bones from the rib cage out of there and get those off. And then I like to go down, and the red in the center has some tiny bones, so I V that out. And this fillet is so small, it's just, might as well just separate it into the top fillet and the bottom fillet. And do the same thing over here. Just cut those little bones in the red part out and separate it into 2 fillets. So we have 2 uppers and 2 lowers, and we'll just clean them up a little bit, get this scrap out of there, rinse the board off, lay those out, and that is what we get. So that's why I don't keep the little ones, because they don't get a lot of meat. But that Case XX fishing knife, I think it's a winner. It's not going to do everything. You know, the Catcherman fillet knife would be better. A pair of pliers would be better. You know, a real de-hooker would be better. But if you only had one tool in your pocket, or maybe you just, you know, walk or ride a bike out to some ponds or something, this is a good tool to keep in your pocket. Pretty sharp. Case fishing knife, you know. I give it a thumbs up. What do you think? Leave the comments in there, and do me a favor, and if you like the video, share it and subscribe to the channel. And other than that, thanks for viewing, and y'all be safe out there.